I'm finally here with the new NARS holiday collection review. It took me a little bit because NARS did something weird with the rollout of their blush palettes, and I just wanted to get my hands on both before I filmed the review, but since I was waiting on one of the blush palettes, I've been wearing this collection in the last two videos, so it's actually a win for you guys because I've tested all of these products multiple times, so I'm coming into this review having my thoughts. This is not a first impressions at all. So for NARS' holiday collection, they collaborated with Iris Van Herpen, who is an artist, to create this limited edition glittery, sparkly collection, as they called it. And like I said, it was a weird rollout of products. Right now, it looks like you can get pretty much the whole holiday collection from NARS on the NARS website. They say it's still considered early access on the NARS website. As of now, Ulta does not have any of the holiday items. Sephora has one of the two blush palettes, the deeper palette, and that is it. So we will see how that rollout of the rest of the products is going to be. And what was odd was NARS didn't have the deeper blush palette on their website, but Sephora had the deeper palette on their website. So I don't know why that is. There's no lighter blush palette on the Sephora website either. So that was a bit weird. I ended up ordering everything from the NARS website, and then the deeper blush palette just arrived today from Sephora. But I'm getting all of my information from the NARS website. I picked up all of the powder products. I did not pick up any of like the lip products. They also have their regular holiday sets, which include permanent colors in the limited edition packaging and set. So I'll send you the link. You can look. There's a lipstick available. There's the multi-stick kit available that I didn't get, a couple lip kits, and then a lip gloss that I didn't get, that I wasn't interested in. But they do have a pretty good gift with purchase on the NARS website. I don't know if it's still going on when you're watching this, but as I'm filming this, if you use the code CASE, you get the choice between this case and then a black one, which I'm kind of regretting. I wish I got the black one and not the white one, but it's nice, it's sturdy, it's cute. I mean, I think this is a little good gift with purchase, so make sure you check out if the code CASE still works to snag that gift if you're ordering from the NARS website. So let's take a quick look at everything that I picked up from the collection. We have the light reflecting prismatic powder in the shade Moonwave, the Aura illuminating face and body powder in the shade Skyrocket, the Solaris quad eyeshadow, the Ethereal Aura blush palette in the shade Lightspeed, and also in the shade New Realm. So that's everything that I picked up from the collection. Let's go ahead and dive in. Now, my favorite color, if you know anything about me, is lavender. I love like an iridescent pastel-y lavender. So immediately when I first saw the launch of this collection, or I guess the leak of this collection, I had to have it. I haven't been excited about a NARS holiday collection in a long time, you guys. I used to review particularly their blush palettes every single year, and then these last couple of years I stopped because it was the same thing and I didn't like some of the formulas. But this was the first year where, without question, I was like, I'm picking up some stuff from this collection. And I don't think this collection is going to be for everybody, but it is cute. Let's start off with coming in close. We'll play with some of the things that we got. This is the light reflecting prismatic powder in the shade Moonwave. It's $42. I wasn't sure if I wanted to purchase this. I'd never tried this powder before. They do have powders like this in other colors. Now, this one is interesting because it has pastel pink, blue, and yellow marbleized together that is supposed to brighten an even complexion and have a lightweight natural finish. Also, the limited edition design comes in a holographic compact, and this is limited edition, so it's really silky, very thin, as you can see, so you really don't get too much of this beautiful marbled pearl design. And I'm a noob to this formula. I've been using it the last couple of days, and I do think I like it. So I have my base. I mixed two different NARS foundations. I have NARS concealers on, just to stick with what we were working on. Now, I don't like this for setting the under eyes. I will today, but I do recommend using something more matte first, like a setting powder, and then using this over top if you want to get that brightening that this gives, because as you can see against my skin tone, it does have subtle brightening to the face. I am using it to set today, but normally I would not. But I've been using this more so as a finishing powder. This is kind of like Hourglass. It's a little bit different in the finish here, and I think even though it doesn't read matte on the face, it's a little bit more flat than the Hourglass pools, but you can see it does have a very subtle satiny finish. I do feel like it ever so slightly softens the appearance of the skin while also adding a little bit of brightening. I like this powder. It's super lightweight, it's super soft, and I showed you it today in a more of a set kind of setting as opposed to a finishing setting, which is how I've been enjoying it the most. But I do think this is a beautiful, impactful, lightweight powder that subtly softens the face while not being a super matte drying finish. I think if you have dry skin and are wary about setting with powders, you will enjoy this. I'm happy that I have this. Now, if you have this formula already, I don't think you need to run out to buy this shade in particular, because they're all going to look pretty similar on the skin. But as somebody who's trying this formula out for the first time, I'm actually very, very happy that I ended up picking this powder up. I think it's very pretty. It's similar to an Hourglass finishing powder in how I would use it, and I think it does lightly brighten the skin without being too matte. So I'm enjoying this so far. So I wanted to give that one a little bit of a good review to start us off. And this powder is made in Italy, and that does not surprise me. Next up, let's play with the eyeshadow palette. So there is one eyeshadow quad in this collection in the shade Solaris. And this looks super light, definitely not deep skin tone friendly. This is $52. But one thing I will say is it does have more pigment than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be really chalky even on my skin tone, but I do like this palette. Obviously, it's very ethereal, cool toned for a specific look, but you do get 2 matte finishes and 2 glitter finishes. Now, these mattes, they build up in depth. If you just layer them or use a heavier hand, you'd be surprised. I was able to get a good amount of depth with these 2 mattes. Even the powder blue, I wore it in my most recent video yesterday if you want to see that. It does fade a little bit, as most powder blues do all over the eyelids, but I was impressed with the performance of this. And then going into the 2 glittery shades, we have this rose pink, and then we have this kind of sparkling taupey shade. This sparkling taupey shade is absolutely stunning. So this is the rose shade. It's a little chunky and a little messy. It doesn't have much of a clear base. Honestly, I don't love it, but I do really love this sparkling taupe, and it's gorgeous all over the eyelid. So the first look that I did with this palette ever was using both of the bottom shades, and I loved the look that I got. It was stunning. And then in yesterday's video, I played a little bit more with this matte, and I put this all over the lid, and then I played with the sparkling rose shade on my inner corner. That said, this is the dud of the palette. I don't love that shade, but the rest of the shades I do really, really enjoy. So I'm gonna do the only combo that I have not yet done, which is I'm gonna play with the matte brown shade and pair it with the sparkling rose. I did film a TikTok tutorial of the powder blue look that I did yesterday. So if you want to see that, I have posted it on my other socials, or I will get to it if it's not up there. Do you see? I really love this taupey shade, and it definitely is deeper than it looks in pan, and you can deepen it up even more by layering it. Of course, this is not going to work on a deep skin tone, but if you have like a lighter side of medium complexion, even medium, you can get depth with this. And I'm very impressed with the quality of this, with the blendability of this. This is a very Asian market kind of palette. This is the kind of makeup colors that they are into, which is fun to play with. but this is definitely not going to be a collection for everybody. Obviously, if you're regularly neutral wearer, you can absolutely get that with these bottom two, but this palette is not going to be for everybody for sure. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, and I ended up liking it more than I thought, so I'm surprised. But you see how beautifully this taupe shade blends out? And then I do not like this rose shade. It's a little messy as well, but I'm gonna try it all over the lid with a wet brush, which is normally against what I'll do, because if it's a good shadow, it shouldn't need the wet brush. I will say with the taupe shade, didn't need a wet brush. It just applied beautifully with the finger. But this rose shade, I tried to put it all over my eyelid yesterday and it wasn't sticking. So there is a dud in this palette. I really wouldn't recommend this palette. There's a lot better that you can get out there for $52. I enjoy this palette. I spent my money on it and I'm gonna get use and looks out of it that I will enjoy, but you can get other palettes that you will probably enjoy a lot more. So while I recommend the face powder, I don't really recommend this eyeshadow palette. I don't think it's worth the price point if all 4 shades are not good quality. I have much better quality eyeshadow palettes from NARS in the regular line. Now by wetting the brush, we've absolutely made this sparkly rose shade work, but in good faith, I couldn't recommend it to you just because I can get a few pretty looks with it at $52. But this is pretty. It is. I'm gonna go ahead and take that taupey shade along the lower lash line. And I think that's all we're gonna do for this look. I've noticed with this palette in general, I like this for 2 and done looks. Like either working this way, working that way, working this way. I didn't really like this combo very much, but I find that I prefer to use 2 shadows at a time from this, and I've been able to get some varying looks here, so I'm not unhappy with it. Side note, I've been using this eyeliner for every look that I've done with this palette so far. It's the Natasha Denona Macrotech Eye Crayon in the shade Taupe. The tone of this works perfectly with these shades, so I'm gonna pop this on really quickly. If you are curious about where eyeshadows are made, by the way, this one was made in Canada, which they normally have pretty good eyeshadows. At the end of the day, I do like this eyeshadow palette. I've gotten looks that I think were really pretty with it, so I will continue to use it, but I can't recommend it to you for $52. I don't think it's worth the price point. So while we wait for my mascara to dry, let's get into the most exciting pieces of this collection, the Ethereal Aura cheek palettes. Both of them have this really gorgeous design. I just love the design of the NARS blush palettes. These are $60 each, and there's one that is obviously better for lighter skin tones and then one that's better for deeper skin tones. We'll start off with Light Speed, which is the lighter shade. Now this one is also made in Canada, and in case you didn't know, there are only 2 new shades in this palette, which would be the Highlight in Impulse and then the Bronzer in Zen. So these are the new shades. The blushes actually already exist. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say inappropriate words, you know NARS, but you need to know. We have Orgasm, Please Me, Sex Fantasy, Deep Throat. So these shades, I have 2 of these in individual shades. So just so you know, in case you didn't, these do contain all existing blushes, and the highlight and the bronzer are the only new things. So let's go ahead and swatch the 2 new items, which is Impulse Highlight, Zen Bronzer. Obviously, not going to work for a ton of skin tones. I like this better than Laguna Bronzer though. I think it's a little bit more appropriate for my skin tone. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit more cool toned. I know some people thought it was very, very orange. It really isn't. It's the perfect bronzer, because it's still supposed to bronze, for the shades in this palette, which are a little bit more cooler. I know we have some warm shades in this palette with the peachy tones, but the vibe of the whole collection is more cool, and I think this bronzer is very, very appropriate. And then let's do Classic Orgasm Blush, Deep Throat. Is that Deep Throat? I think it is. Sex Fantasy, And then this shade is interesting, Please Me. There's actual glitters in this shade, which I don't love. It's a little bit of a drier formula, but I was able to utilize it in a way that I really enjoyed it. So, that is these 4 shades. Because look at how crazy Please Me looks. But when you pair it, if you're around my skin tone, with Sex Fantasy, it creates a really pretty lighter lavender cheek that I enjoyed. Now we are splitting one face between 2 blush palettes today. So I'm really gonna focus on these, and then I'm gonna focus on the newer shades in the deeper palette, since I've already fully examined, tested everything out in this palette. But I wanna show you the bronzer against my skin tone, and you can see it really is not at all too warm. I've been really enjoying this bronzer. I honestly think it's the perfect powder bronzer. Overall, I've been liking this Lightspeed blush palette. I like the colors in it. I think it's a bit dry. Like, I feel like we could make this formula creamier, but I haven't had any issues really with application at all. Everything goes on really smooth. It can build up if you want it to. Really, really gorgeous. You guys know Orgasm, it's the classic shade from them, so I'm gonna pass on applying it, as well as Deep Throat. I've demoed these 2 blushes plenty of time on my channel, but they feel drier to me. That's what I'm noticing. And this I will put an overlay so that you can see how it looked on me. It did require some building up of Sex Fantasy, and then I didn't love the glitters on here, but I kind of used it as a hybrid highlight color, because on me, obviously, it's lighter than my skin tone. So I used this all over, and then this to kind of top and highlight. And it was very, very pretty, but there were some glitters. Now the highlighter, since it's new, I will pop this on one cheek, because we do have another highlighter in this collection. This is very white. I don't know if you can see, it does look like there's some glitters as well, but you can warm it up into the skin or buff it into the skin, and it actually is quite pretty. And you can build it up for more impact. It's a fine highlight. I'm not obsessed with it. I have other highlighters that I like better, but it's looking a little glittery today. I feel like it's not adhering to the cheek as much as it did the other day. I think because the base that I'm using is just overall more matte, there's less for it to stick to. But it does feel creamy, this highlighter. I just used it as this inner corner highlight. You saw how impactful it was. It might just be this brush. Let me try it with this one from Hourglass. Yeah, okay, it was just that brush. Ignore me. But it's a very, very light highlighter. So if you're very fair, this isn't gonna leave a cast. It's not a highlight that I'd normally go for, but I did want to demo it. So now I'm just gonna wipe off half of this blush palette. This is New Realm, the deeper blush palette, and what I didn't realize is this doesn't have a bronzer in here, whereas there was a bronzer in the lighter shade, which is really, really disappointing. But let's go over the colors. So this palette has 3 brand new shades to the brand and 3 existing shades. So the top row are all the new shades: Foolish, Thrash, and Dark Love. And then the bottom row are all existing shades, which is Thrill, which is one of my favorites, Teased, and Dolce Vita, which is a very, very classic blush shade from NARS. And I suppose these two, definitely on a deeper complexion, are going to be highlights. On me, they're more so going to be blush toppers. So let's do the top row first. These feel creamy. I think I like the formulas in this palette better already, I can tell you. Foolish. Oh, that's beautiful. Then we have Thrash. Then we have Dark Love, which is really gorgeous. Ooh, wait. This palette came today, so this is the only product in today's video that I have not yet used. And then these are the existing blushes. Thrill, which is a favorite of mine, Teased, and Dolce Vita. Thrill, Teased, Dolce Vita. I mean, you can tell a very, very big difference in the depths. It's a much brighter palette as well, much more pinky. Really, really different vibes with the two palettes. This is definitely going to work on a deep complexion, you guys, for sure. It's a shame they didn't include a bronzer for a deeper complexion, but I mean, taking the bronzer out to replace it with these beautiful blushes and highlight for deeper complexions, I like this palette more. I feel like I like the formulas in here more. I love this top row more. Okay, we're gonna play mostly with the top row since these are all new shades. So what I like about the layout of this is you can layer the top and bottom shades. So you have the matte blushes and then the glowy either toppers or highlighters. I kind of want to see these two layered together. Let me try it. I don't know that I've ever used Dolce Vita blush. I'm just going to do a little bit. We're going to keep it more towards the back of the cheek. Yeah, I mean, this color, Teased, will be pretty difficult to pull off on myself. So I might skip using that, but I can use Dolce Vita and Thrill easily. And then let's top with Dark Love. Unfortunately, for some reason, I have milia on this side of my face only. Oh, I love this layering here. Oh my gosh. First impressions, I'm really, really into this palette. Okay, I'm gonna use a clean brush, and I wanna see how Thrash looks on me. And I'm using like the lightest hand, you guys. You can absolutely build this up and it will show up on a deeper complexion, but I'm surprised how easily this is rolling onto the cheek for me. It's not grabbing, it's not getting patchy. No, Thrash is also beautiful. Oh, I really, really like that. Okay, and then let's see about Foolish. But I know Thrill, which I love, which was one of my year-round favorites, I think a couple years ago at least. I know that shade's beautiful. Oh my gosh, so this one, there's a cast to it, but because it's so pink, it's actually very flattering just to keep on the higher side of blush. I'm gonna stop it there, but these two are gorgeous. And these are actually very, very creamy. These are more of just the regular matte blush formulation. Wait, I'm shocked at how much I'm enjoying this new round palette. It is blowing the other palette out of the water. If you're very much on the fair side, you will like the Lightspeed palette. It's interesting that this one is kind of a whole face palette with the bronzer, blush, and highlighter options. But I mean, I have a light complexion and I'm easily able to make new round work. You get more new shades with it being the 3 new blush / highlights depending on your skin tone and the 3 existing matte shades. I think the value is better here with that. For some reason, I felt like the formulas in here felt a little bit drier besides the new highlight. I was liking this, you guys. I was enjoying this palette, but it was going to be limited for who can use it. And after using this, first impressions, of course, I really like this one. I recommend this one more if you like these more vibrant cheek colors. So I was going to recommend this if you're on the lighter side, this palette, because I've been enjoying it and I really like the bronzer shade a lot on myself. The bronzer is probably my favorite, and then I like layering these two. But if you're in between the two and you like a bold blush situation, mixing finishes, that whole shebang, I really like New Realm. So turns out I really like both of these, but New Realm has impressed me in a way that I did not expect it to. Now, when I first was ordering, I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick this up because, you guys, this is $55 for a limited edition face and body powder. This is made in Italy. I just decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and do it. I don't know, I just had a good feeling about it. So this is $55, like I said, and this is supposed to be an ethereal iridescent sheen that you can put anywhere, which I'm gonna end up just putting on my face. But look at that, it's very sheer, kind of has that opalescent glow. Just when you turn the right way, it really melts into the skin. It has a little bit of a pinky sheen to it. It is very, very pretty. I'm gonna show you. Unfortunately, I do have like highlighter on both of my cheeks, but we're gonna layer it just so you can see. This looks much smoother on the skin than the highlighter in the Lightspeed palette for sure. I actually like wish this was in one of the palettes instead of having to buy it for $55, because it is a really pretty sheer highlight, which I think is a little bit more trendy. And you can see it's not messy, it's kind of baked. It's gonna look pretty here. Now remember, I already had some glow on, but it's that formula where it melts into the skin. It's kind of sheer. It's more about when you turn your face, because it's a little iridescent, and it's very pretty. It goes with the blushes very well that exist in this collection, as well as you can put it all over, which is just not my jam. I don't normally go to scenes that involve that, but it's very, very pretty. This little iridescent opal powder, and it would be really pretty dusted all over the eyelid as well. I purchased it. There's no going back, but would I do it again? Probably not. I wasted $55. I think it's just too expensive for $55. And NARS, I think, has more highlights in their collection individually that I should have purchased instead of this, because this is a little, it was an impulse purchase. I'm not going to use this very often, but I wanted to show you it because it is very, very pretty, but it's just one of those things where it's $55 for just this. I spend $60, get the new round blush palette. It's more fun, you get more bang for your buck. Now, while you guys are here, I want to show you the lip I've been wearing with this collection for all the looks I've done so far. This is Rephr Beauty Almond Lip Liner, nice and cool. But the new Lawless Forget the Filler collab that they did with Love Shack Fancy, these shades are perfect. We'll go with Bloom Heirloom today because it's more pinky, but the shade Happy Thoughts from the more purple bluey looks. Like, so fun with this collection, right? Also, you know what? I just want to show you both. Because NARS, by the way, they did come out with their Lip Shine, which is like an iridescent purple shimmer lip gloss. I decided not to purchase it because I knew I wouldn't use it. And then I was like, I already have iridescent lip glosses anyways. Happy Thoughts is the one I've been wearing. I think I like this one better with this collection. Yeah, we'll wear Happy Thoughts instead. But yeah, instead of buying that NARS lip gloss for $28, the Love Shack Fancy and Lawless ones are the ones that I've been wearing with this collection. So, taupe eyeliner from Natasha Denona, almond lip liner from Rephr Beauty, and the Love Shack Fancy lip glosses have been a match made in heaven with this collection. So here is our beautiful cool toned look today that we got with the new NARS collection. Overall, no matter my thoughts, I do have to say I've been having a lot of fun these last couple of days with this collection and with the looks that I've been creating, and they've been very, very simple to do. So I do need to give it those bonus points. It's hard to have fun with makeup, I feel like, nowadays, and this collection achieved it, but it's not the perfect collection for sure, and it's definitely more for a specific kind of person. I do really enjoy this powder. I don't think you absolutely need to have it, especially if you already own this formula, but in general, it's a nice formula. The eyeshadow quad, love the looks that I've gotten, but I don't think it's worth the money for the quality that you get. The highlighter here, don't spend $55 on it like me. It's very, very, very pretty, but it's $55 for that. And then the blush palettes, which of course were the ones that called my name when this first launched. I mean, I'm enjoying both of these. I've enjoyed the last couple of days with Lightspeed, but I don't think it's NARS's best work. However, today is the first day that I've played with New Realm, and I am very pleasantly surprised by this. I think this might be my favorite thing in the collection, even though I've just opened it up here. But this is giving. This, I think, is worth it for the $60, I would say. This is my favorite item in the collection already. It just has that it factor. So that's that. If you wanted the closer looks, swatches, and demos on this collection from NARS, let me know your thoughts. If you're planning on picking anything up from the collection, what are your thoughts on the blush palettes? As always, I will have the links for these down below, as well as all of the other makeup that I'm wearing and may have mentioned in today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying these holiday deep dives, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.
It's delicious.